Summer has officially arrived, and obviously for me personally it's the best time to start learning new strategies because obviously we have some more free time. And that's why in this video I'm going to show you a really beginner friendly trading strategy so you can start testing it out on Forex Online and start building your own strategy based on this. And obviously don't miss out the massive discount coupon that you got down in the descriptions, and you get Forex Online for a cheaper price. But let's go in straight into the charts because this strategy is really simple. We only need two indicators, one time frame and one asset. So let's start with the asset, and we are on the euro against the dollar. Now the only thing we need to go is to the 1 hour time frame, because obviously if we're going to start trading beginners, so obviously we don't want to be scalping, because it's not about opening and closing the trades fast. It's more about, can you emotionally handle opening trades in 1 or 5 minutes and losing $100 in less than 5 minutes. So obviously if we're doing a beginner strategy, we need to work in time frames like 1 hour, 4 hours, because this obviously depends directly on the time that you have. But let's start off, like I said, on the euro against the dollar, 1 hour time frame. Now what we need to look for is the RSI. Okay, the RSI, where everybody knows the RSI. If you don't know the RSI, it's one of the best indicators that we can actually use today. So we're going to use a 2-period RSI based on the Larry Connor's strategy. So now we've got this, we're going to go to the levels, and we're going to set the 30 level to 5 and the 70 level to 95. Okay, so it's going to be really stretched out because obviously we don't want to take every single trade. Now we've got this, what we've got to think in is that with the RSI is how we are going to enter the market. We're going to enter the market based on when the RSI pops out these levels, because obviously it means it's been highly extended. But we're not going to do this randomly. We're going to do this obviously following a trend. And this is where the second indicator kicks in. This is going to be a moving average. And I know you're probably thinking this is too simple, but believe me, the simple strategies are the ones that best work. So how are we going to place this moving average? It's going to be based on a weekly bias. So what we're going to do, we're going to open a calculator, okay? And in one day, we obviously have 24 hours and we have 5 trading days. So we're basically going to calculate 24 times 5. This is going to give us 120. And this is going to be the moving average that we're actually going to use. So when the price is above the moving average, we're going to buy, and when it's below, we're going to sell. Based on that, if the average price is below the average weekly price, then obviously it's a good opportunity to keep selling, because obviously the trend is your friend until it breaks. So now we've got this set in, this combines really well with the RSI, because obviously at the end of the day we have got a high time frame trend, and then we've got a short time frame entry. So basically we're always going to be following this trend. So as we can see, just a quick example that we could see here. Obviously we're not going to take this trade because it's already been passed, but as you can see, we have one trade here where the price would enter here, and we would have entered a short position here. As well, we have another trade right here where we've entered the trade at this spike up here, and we would still be in the trade. Why? Because we are going to leave the trade when the price hits the bottom level. In this case, the RSI hits the bottom level. So if we enter at the top, in this case at the 95 level, we are going to exit the trade when the price hits the 5 level. And obviously if we enter a trade when the price comes down here, then we're going to leave it when the price gets up to here. So really simple strategy. And don't worry, because if you like placing stop losses and take profits, that's completely fine. And we can add it on later on in an analytics that I'll show you in a minute. But let's go on and let's see how this performs. For this strategy, we don't need to focus on any session. We can trade it on the Asian session, on the New York session, on the London session, whatever you want. Because obviously at the end of the day, we're in a 1 hour time frame, and we're not going to look to actually be focused in this particular session. Let's just go forward. In the Asian session, we have no problem with that. Price is bouncing down to the 5 level, so we just need to wait for the price to come up here. Okay, it's come up to this level here. So now we're basically opening a trade. One curious thing that Forex Online has got, that it will tell you what's the best lot size depending on the trading account you've assigned. So if we come here, we'll be able to see that Smart Lot Size recommends 0.45 lot size. And this is really recommended for this type of strategies because we don't use a stop loss. We leave the trade depending on when the RSI touches the bottom level. But as well, what we're going to do is we're going to close the trade if the actual price crosses the moving average, because obviously once it's crossed the moving average, it makes no sense to keep waiting for the price to come down, because obviously it can expand highly and this can leave us a lot of drawdown. So basically we are going to use this recommended lot size. We are going to place the sell position here, and there we go. If the price crosses above here, and here's something important, I'm not going to use a stop loss, but I'm going to close if the price closes above this moving average, because I don't want to add a stop loss just here because the price can spike and come back down. So I prefer a confirmation as a closed candle. 1 hour candle is a big, quite important close. So obviously we can take that in consideration to close the trade. So now we just wait for the price to develop and see how it performs. Just now it's coming near. Okay. As you can see right at the moment, and keep an eye on this, the price actually spiked through the moving average, but it dropped down. And now we're right at the moment where I would be closing the trade because it's touching the 5 level. In this case, we're leaving this trade in break even, and that is completely fine. Okay, we can leave some trades in break even, and that is completely fine. So now basically we just need to look for another trade. As you can see, it even came a bit more below, so we could even extend these profits even more if you feel confident about it. And like I say, this strategy is based on so you can build your own strategy using Forex Online with the analytics and the optimizer, because this works brilliant, and I'll show you at the end of the video. So let's go forward again, because right now we are in a downtrend, and now the price has spiked out again. So we're just going to enter another sell position here. Simple and easy. We don't have to overcomplicate anything. And let's see how the price develops. And okay, it's come down to the level. I'll be closing here. So let's close this here. $68 I've made there. So that'd be 0.68% of the account. And here it's actually close below. We could have actually extended a bit more profit. So like I say, at the end of the day, you can build your own strategy based on this one, because at the end of the day, it's a really good base to start off. So now again, price has touched the level. We could actually wait for the breakout, but obviously at the end of the day, these breakouts don't happen so often. So I would actually take this trade here. So I would enter the sell position there. And let's see how it performs. Obviously, we don't have to wait for the price to hit this lower level, because like I said, we can build the strategy based on stop losses, take profits and all that. And that's what we're going to see at the end in the analytics, to show you how you can optimize the strategy, and so you can actually build your own. Because at the end of the day, for me, the most important thing to be profitable in the markets, it can be in a live account or in a prop firm's account, is to have your own strategy and backtest it yourself, so you can actually see your own metrics, your own data, and you actually have trust in the strategy. Because that for me is complete key. Because if we don't trust in the strategy, if we've just learned the strategy from YouTube video like you're watching now, and you go to trade it lively, you're not going to trust it, and that's not going to end well. Let's continue through, and as you can see, quick take profit there. To be honest, this is for me one of my favorite strategies. It's as well based on one of the first strategies that I used to use in 1 minute. Okay, I used to do this in 1 minute, and it used to work brilliant. And I really used to enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it was really fast-paced trades. I mean, I could take 5-10 trades in 2 hours, because obviously I was working in the 1 minute time frame. And like I say, you can port this trading strategy to any time frame and test it out to see how it performs. In some time frames, it'll be better. In other ones, it won't be so good. But obviously, it depends on how much time you have. But what we do have is another trade here. So let's enter our sell position there, and let's see how this one performs. It's quite near there. Perfect. It's closed above. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the trade here, because obviously it could expand up, and we don't want to have massive amounts of drawdown. So let's just continue through, and let's see how this develops. It's coming back down again. Okay, let's see if we get another extension again. Okay, it's going through. As you can see as well, it's not a trading strategy that you can get a trade or a few trades every single day. It's a strategy just to chill out and learn how to trade, because obviously there's a big difference between backtesting and live trading. So once you've backtested this and you've seen that it's mathematically possible, then obviously you can take it to a demo account and then finally use it in a real account if you feel comfortable, obviously with really low amounts, or using prop firms. That these are always really interesting if you haven't traded before, because they give you these consistency rules and they make you be consistent with your lot sizes, and you don't do any crazy things. So I always prefer, if I would start again, I wouldn't go on a live account. I would start straight off in a prop firm account, because at the end of the day, you can get a $5,000 account for maybe 20-30 bucks. So at the end of the day, it's really cheap, and you got that pressure that if you do things correctly, you can actually get a payout. So at the end of the day, for me, it's I would have no doubt, if I would start again, I would use a prop firm straight on. Obviously a good prop firm, not any weird prop firm that hasn't been out for a long time or anything. Obviously I would always go for a good prop firm, like been many years in business, because obviously it's a really bad feeling that if you manage to get a payout and you don't get paid out because the business isn't it's a bit sketchy, then obviously we must take that in consideration as well. But like I said, for a beginning strategy, for a beginner base, because obviously all the strategies that I show on this channel are always going to be a base for you to work on. It's not a final product, because you need to backtest it yourself, otherwise, like I say, you're not going to have any trust in it. But let's stop chatting about that and let's go with this buy position. That looks like it's really interesting, because we've had a nice push on the downside, so price is still quite away from the moving average, so we could see some good results here. Let's see how it performs. Okay, that's fine. $45 there, so it'd be 0.5% there. That's perfectly okay. Obviously, we're going with a smaller lot size, because I didn't mention before, but when we select this smart lot size, this is based on the last 1,000 candles. So it's basically going to take the volatility of the last 1,000 candles and recommend you a lot size so you don't blow your account. So this is really interesting, because at the end of the day, in trading, it's not about making money, it's about saving your money and not blowing your account. That's the most important. But let's see if we can find another trade here. Okay, it seems like it's going highly in an uptrend, and as well, as you can see, it'd be a nice push that we could actually hold it here. And like I say, it's all based on how you want to build your strategy. If you want to use positive risk rewards, negative risk rewards, if you want to keep it like that, leaving the trades with the RSI. There's so many combinations that you can add with the strategy. It's a massive base, and I completely love it. Especially if I would start trading again, I would definitely use this one, because at the end of the day, it's just so simple to use. We don't need too many rules, and when we start, we don't want to have a lot of rules, because there's a lot of human errors that we can have, and at the end of the day, it's not worth it, because we're going to lose money just based on we fucking up instead of the actual strategy messing up. So okay, here we are getting into a drawdown. Perfect, it's come up again. We leave in a break even, so we haven't lost any money here, and that is perfect. So let's continue and see if we get another one here. Perfect. So we have a nice trade here. It could bounce up. Obviously, we have got this big push down, so it could actually keep pushing down. But let's see if we're lucky and the price bounces up again, and we can leave the trade. Obviously, you can see as well, a lot of times we are actually in profit, and that's why I'm saying that you can actually optimize the strategy and look for a take profit and a stop loss instead of leaving the price like that, because a lot of times we do leave profits on the table. So, okay, the price is closed below this level here, so we're going to leave this trade here, and that is completely fine. Now the backtest has come to the end, it's time to show you how we can optimize the strategy so you can build your own strategy using this as a base. So let's go to analytics, and it's quite interesting what we can get here in analytics insight and with the exit optimizer. So let's check it out. Strategy made a 15% gain in 21 days, so that is spectacular, it's perfect. And the first thing that we can actually check here as well, that is really interesting, is the trading session analysis. In this case, for this backtest, we can see that the Asian session had a profit factor of 5.52%. Meanwhile, the European session had a 2 profit factor, and the New York session had a 3 profit factor. So here it's quite interesting, because we can see the win rate in the Asian session is quite higher than the European session. So that gives us a hint that maybe we should be trading this more in the Asian session than on the European session. But this obviously depends on your final product, on your final strategy. But just to get a hint with how we did it this time, the Asian session is giving better results. So now we've got that out of the way, let's see what points we can actually improve. Like consider increasing the position size after winning streaks. This will give us $175 more. In this case, it's not a massive improvement. And with some strategies, we can get up to 50, 60, 70% improvement just by doing this. In this case, like I say, we could do this, but I would do it after having more data, like having like 500 trades, things like that. And as well, like try taking breaks after losing trades to improve profits. We can see that after X amount of minutes, we had another loss, so we could take this in consideration as well. So like have maybe at a time like only 1 trade a day or X amount of trades a week. So this would be interesting as well to check out. And as well, something really interesting is the exit optimizer, because this was recently got updated, and now we can actually toggle off the stop loss to take profit, the max holding duration, and as well we could actually take profit to disable it. So the take profit is actually with no limit. So like if you wouldn't add take profit, and if you toggle it off, basically we'll get a result by using the take profit that we're using. But it's quite interesting, because if we take it on and we bring it to the actual base, we could see that by just doing this, okay, we can get some interesting results. Obviously the result in this case is a bit worse than the actual result, but this will be especially relevant when we do like 500 or 1000 trades, because basically there we'll have more data, and the more data we have, the more solid strategy we can actually build. So I would basically backtest this, let's say for 500 trades, and then come here and say, okay, what is my best option? Once we've got that, we can't just take it to the live demo, because this will be an overfitted strategy, because it's giving us the best match for our strategy. Now what we need to do is do a forward test. So what I always like to do is separate my back test and my forward test in a 1 to 3. So what I would do is, like I say, if I've got 3 years, I would back test and optimize for 2 years, and then the next year would be a complete forward test based on the optimization that I've had. So that's how I separate it, and that's how I manage to get profitable trading strategies when I'm optimizing. As well, you can see that the performance over time, the equity chart is really nice. Okay, it hasn't got major drawdowns, just this one here, and we had a really nice win rate of a 75%. So good base to start, because at the end of the day, our average profit and our average loss is literally a risk reward of 1 to 1 in most of the cases. Obviously sometimes we can have bigger risk rewards and sometimes we have lower risk rewards. This depends on the trade, but the average is a 1 to 1, and we have a 75% win rate, so this is a good start. So basically now the only thing you need to do is get Forex online. You got a free trial that you can try out if you want to. If not, you got a nice discount that you got down in the description, so you get Forex online for a cheaper price, and try a strategy out. And I would love to know your feedback back down in the comments. If you find a really good strategy and you want to share it, the comment section is a place for that. And said this, as always, my name is Jack, and I'll see you next time.